Ladies and gentlemen, Arc Raiders is finally here, and if you're a controller player, I've got some settings that you should try out. I'm a controller player myself. I've been playing controller my entire life. It's the only type of thing that I use when playing video games, and I have been struggling when it comes to Arc Raiders settings, trying to dial in what I'm doing wrong when I'm in a gunfight or when I'm just looting and trying to move around the map a little bit better. And I feel like these settings that I finally have are some of the best settings that I've come across. I've watched a lot of videos and I've read a lot of different articles and pages to see what everybody's using. And I feel like these are the best settings that I've actually figured out for myself, and hopefully they help you out. So let's jump into it right now. So I'll preface this by letting you know that I am on a Scuff and Vision Pro because I play on PC. I have 4 paddles on the back, but I'm technically only using 2 of them. One is set to my B button, which is my slide/crouch button, and the other one is set to my A button, which is my jump button. That way I'm not having to take my right thumb off of the thumbstick just to be able to crouch or jump. The only thing I'm really having to do is reload, and I'll explain what I'm doing for that as well right now. So under the controller settings, under your aim assist, make certain this is on. Obviously, you're going to want to have aim assist. Now, it's not as strong as it is in something like Call of Duty or Battlefield, but it is in the game and it does help you out when you are in gunfights. So make certain you have aim assist on unless you're an absolute demon, which I am not. The next thing that you're going to make certain you have is prioritize reload under your interact reload behavior. And the reason you want it under prioritize reload that I figured out is that when you're in a gunfight, either against the Arc or against other raiders, if you have this set to prioritize interact, you're actually having to hold down the button to reload in the middle of a fight. And you don't want that. You want to be able to just spam the button really fast and reload while you're in a fight and trying to get to a different angle and push whoever you're fighting or whatever you're fighting. So make certain you have prioritize reload set instead of prioritize interact. Now, if you play on mouse and keyboard, maybe you want prioritize interact and that's your preference. But for me personally on a controller, prioritize reload is the best setting that I found so far. Obviously, invert vertical look up input is turned off for me. I think that's one of the craziest things. And if you use this, you're a psychopath. Now, getting into the sensitivities. I have my horizontal sensitivity set to 75 and my vertical sensitivity set to 60. I feel like both of these are very good settings when it comes to moving around. When you're looking just in general around on the map and you're not ADS'd in, maybe when you're moving, you're trying to look and move at the same time. I feel like both of these are very good settings. And even when you're in a gunfight, it helps you be able to track people and be able to move around in rotations against them and see where they're coming from. The other thing that you want to make certain is that your zoom sensitivity multiplier is set to 25%. This is more like if you play Call of Duty and you have your ADS sense multiplier. This one's going to actually help you when you're ADS'd in to keep track of where people are a little bit faster and a little bit quicker. And it feels really good at 25. I've moved it up to 40 and 45, and I've had it all the way down to 0. 25 seems like it's the really good sweet spot for me. Also, the zoom scope sensitivity, I haven't used the scope yet on the game, but I've got that set to 50. Once I use that, I may adjust that and change it, but for now, I have it set to 50. The look response curve is a very important one you're going to want to use. Now, for me personally, I like the linear aspect of it. That way it's more accurate to what I'm doing on my controller. There are some people who use an exponential, but this is more of like a very hard slowdown when you're ADS'd in. And I feel like it kind of over exaggerates what you're doing a little bit more. And I was missing a lot of shots when I had it on this one. I also had it on this sinusoidal. I guess that's how you say it. I'm Southern. I can't say big words like that. Whatever this one is, it's more of like the dynamic aspect. If you think about Call of Duty, when it comes to the look response curve type and the curve types in general, this is more of the dynamic space, which is what I used in Call of Duty, but I feel like it's not as good in this game. I feel like linear is where it needs to be at. So I have mine set to linear. Your inner dead zone and your movement dead zone, I have both of mine set to 5. I wouldn't go above 10 on this. Most controllers don't need that. This is if you have stick drift on your controller. I don't have any stick drift on mine, but I leave mine set to 5. It feels perfectly fine there. So I would set yours to 5. If you need to go up to 10, go up to 10 on both of them, but make certain they're both set to the same thing. But mine set to 5, I think is perfect spot for it. All right. So the next 6 settings are where a lot of controller players get lost when it comes to their settings. And so I'm going to explain these a little bit so you kind of get a basic understanding of what they do. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm using. So maybe you can try them. And if you need to go up and down from them, try that as well. It's up to you. So think of the look boost as like a turbo mode for your right thumbstick. When you push the right stick all the way to the edge, the game multiplies your turn speed so that you can whip around a little bit faster. For example, if your boost is 150, that means that your turn is 50% faster at full tilt. Now the ramp up time is how long it takes to hit that full boost. A fast ramp up time like 0.3 seconds, it feels very snappy and reactive, but a slower one around 0.6 seconds feels very cinematic and a lot smoother. So I stick around 0.5 seconds because that looks fluid when I'm on stream and it keeps my aim very steady. When it comes to my overall settings, my horizontal look boost is set to 140. My vertical look boost is set to 120. I have my look boost ramp up time set to 0.5. And then when it comes to zoom, which is more of the ADS sensitivities, my zoom look boost and vertical look boost, both horizontal and vertical, are set to 70 and 50. And I have the ramp up time set to 0.3. Now, some other settings that you may want to change in your game are these. If you go all the way over to the gameplay tab and go to your HUD position, I have mine set to stretch. That makes all of my HUD a little bit smaller and over to the side. So I have more of the field of view of what's going on my screen. You can do this. If you don't like it, set it back to the centered version of it. But I personally think the stretch looks better and makes me be able to see a lot more of the field of play a lot better. Also, another thing that I have set here, which we talked about earlier, is the prioritize reload. You can also set that here in the gameplay tab as well. Another key thing that you may want to change is in your audio settings. I have my output mode set to system default. Set that to whatever you want to do. You can also set this over to stereo headphones, whichever one. It doesn't really matter. Mine does the same thing because I'm on PC. Another key one that you definitely want to put on is the night mode. Now, if you have this turned off, you're going to hear a lot more ambient noises around you when you're in the game, which some of you may like that. But for me personally, I like hearing footsteps and I like hearing when the arc are flying over me or around me, so I kind of know where the enemies are coming from. And by turning on night mode, you're going to hear those footsteps and you're going to hear the arcs motors a little bit better in the gameplay. It kind of turns the ambient noise around you down in the game. It helps you hear footsteps of other arc coming around you or other enemies running near you as well. So make sure you got that turned on. Also, when it comes to your master volume and your effects volume, make sure you have your master all the way to 100, but keep your effects volume around 55. And the reason that is all the way down here where proximity chat is. I have that set up to 200%. What I figured out was that if I had proximity all the way up, but I also had effects volume all the way up, a lot of the times in the games when it comes to fights or things going on, if somebody was trying to talk to me in the game, I couldn't hear them because the effects of the game were so loud and I wanted to hear what was actually going on and what was being said. I have the effects turned to 55. I did try 50 as well, so you can keep it around that range, but it's going to help you keep the overall volume of the effects without losing the effect of the game in your ears, but also you'll be able to hear the proximity chat or hear the dialogue from the raiders that's going on around you. That way you know if there's somebody near you. So keep your effects to 55%, keep your dialogue to 100, turn your voice chat up to 130 to 150, and the proximity chat to 200. Also, if you're on a controller, go to your accessibility tab, go to where it says crosshair and turn on the override crosshair shape. What this does is actually sets your standard crosshair for every single weapon you would use in the game. If you don't have this turned on, different weapons will have different types of crosshairs. But for me personally, I like everything to be cohesive. So I have this set to turned on, and I also have it set to rounded diamond. That way, when I'm ADS'd in or if I'm looking at an enemy, everything's a little bit smaller. It looks more like a centered dot. And then when I start to fire, it kind of spreads out and shows me kind of where my spread's going from the shots. So set this to rounded diamond. Also have your center crosshair dot turned on. Turn on your crosshair center radius set to 2, crosshair length set to 20 or 21. It's not really going to matter if you're using the circle or the rounded diamond. This is more if you're using the T shape or the cross shape. It's going to help your crosshair lengths stand out or be a little bit smaller. Set your crosshair thickness to 1. Set your outline thickness to 0, turn your opacity down to 50%, and then change your crosshair color from white to either a bright green or a magenta color like I'm using here, which is red's all the way up and blue is all the way up, both for the regular crosshair and for the outline crosshair colors. So I have both of those turned all the way up. If these settings helped you out, or if you want to see more Arc Raider settings or just more Arc Raider videos here in the future, and you've stayed all the way to the end of this video, number one, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate that. This is a brand new thing for me, and so I'm learning along the way. I apologize if I rambled a lot, but it's all new. We're all here learning, and we're all trying to figure things out together. So if you did stay this long, make certain you smash that thumbs up button. And if you would like to, make certain you subscribe for more. I do live stream here on YouTube on Wednesday and Thursday mornings, starting roughly around 8:30 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And I end roughly around 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And every once in a while, we'll throw in a Tuesday night stream as well, roughly around 6:30 p.m. So I would love to see you in one of the streams in the chat. We have a lot of people that watch over here on YouTube. So make certain you stick around for that on either on a Tuesday evening or a Wednesday and Thursday morning. Stick around for more Arc Raiders content. As always, I love you guys. I mean it. And I hope you have a great day.